What's happening, folks? Welcome to Ichabod. You know what it is. Come on into the chat and greet somebody in Reason's name. What's happening? Tonight we are doing exit strategy as we do every Thursday, and I'm trying to be very consistent here. And appreciate you guys coming through to check out the channel. While you're here, make sure you do like, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and come on into the chat and greet somebody in Reason's name. As you can see, I'm rocking the In Reason's Name tee. So go get you one from the merch store. Check it out. What's up, James, in the chat? Good to see you, my friend. And David DeBoe said, I finally get to catch one live. That's what's up. I'm glad you're here, man. Mo Wheat, what's good? Noon, what's happening? Glad you guys are here. Got a great show. I'm really looking forward to the guests we're having tonight. And before I bring the guests on stage, I definitely want to give a shout out to everybody that's been rocking with the channel, standing and putting your dollars where your mouth is. Thank you, everyone on the screen. If your name is on the screen, and I got a few more folks to add to the screen, some folks who just jumped on and said, hey, let me support too. So I'll be adding those names as well. But thank you. If you want to join the Patreon, the link will be under the video. I'll drop it in the chat in a minute or two. But yes, everyone on the screen right now, thank you so much for showing your appreciation. I truly appreciate you. There's so much content, and I give a shout out to all the other content creators out there, people who are just doing what they can to let other people know it's okay. It's okay to question. It's okay to admit that you have doubt. It's okay to succumb to those doubts. It's probably the best thing you could possibly do with your life. I've had so many people tell me, I cannot believe how much better my life is now that I don't have to do the mental gymnastics of keeping a faltering faith alive. And it's not your fault. You did not fail. You did not fail your faith. Your faith failed you. You wanted to believe true things. The writers of the Bible lied to you. You wanted to be a good person. You realized that you were better than the God that you were serving. It is not your fault. You did not fail your faith. Your faith failed you. And it's okay to admit that. It's okay to accept that. It's okay to embrace that. One of the things that I want to do, the reason why I stayed public after deconverting, is because I wanted to provide a safe space for people to land. I saw the writing on the wall. I saw the way the dominoes were falling. I knew that many more people were going to end up having to wrestle with their faith. They would doubt and they would disbelieve, and they would wonder, can I even do that? Is lightning going to strike? Is the ground going to open up? And I said, no, you know what? If I remain public, I can provide a safe space for people to land when they leave their faith. And so that's why I'm here. That's why I do what I do. And I thank you, everybody who's been standing with the channel. I completely thank you and appreciate you. My unique Monique, thank you so much for being here. She says, what's good, everyone? Yes. Glad you're here. Yeah, so I got friends calling me. Everyone is sort of, how are you all feeling with what's going on in the world right now? I mean, I do this show because I want people to know that they're not alone when it comes to questioning faith. But even outside of questioning faith, some of the things that help keep us secure right now, we've always thought we lived, for those who are watching this in the United States, we thought that we had a safe and secure, even if not totally just and fair country, right? We had on paper, a nation that was worth fighting for and all that. We were trying to make it more like it says on paper, all men equal, men and women equal. And, we were trying to make our reality like what the Constitution said it was, we were aiming for. But now here we are in a place where the people who are in charge, the people that we've elected, or the people that have been put in place by the people that we've elected, because some of the people who are serving us now, we haven't even elected them. They just were put in place. They are taking apart all the things that make us feel secure. And without that security, it's a very threatening world. And I can imagine it's almost like, man, I can't have too much falling apart at the same time. If my faith is falling apart and then my country's falling apart too, like, damn, what kind of a world is that to live in? Um, so I don't know. I don't even know what to say other than I just wanted to name that many people are struggling right now with just not feeling safe in the world that we live in. And I think if we can do what we can do to, like I said, I'm here to provide a safe place for people to land. I think we need to provide a safe place for people to to live in America. Just to be a citizen or to be a visitor, to be naturalized, to be whoever, to be human in America. I think we need to do a better job at providing a safe place for people to do that. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and bring our guest in. And what I would like to do is encourage you all to go visit the channel of our guest. It's a great channel. And we're going to find out more about what she's doing, what she's been doing, what she's going to be doing. Yeah, My Unique Monique says, chopping it up with David DeBow. Yeah, definitely bleak times that we're living in. David DeBow says, honestly, I believe we're at the end. Wow, the end of human civilization, and our prospects are bleak. If America wasn't such a mighty nation, I would think, you know what? We can go through what we're going to go through, and the world will be just as fine. But because we're such a pivotal nation, you know, what happens here is going to have reverberations around the world. And I don't know, man. I really do hope that people realize we are on a plank in a very precarious place and start walking back off this plank. But yeah, let's do what we can do to have those conversations, because we do have the midterms coming up, even though we have people trying to make the midterms of none effect. If we can do what we can do to have those conversations and sway people so that our numbers and our voice actually does count. But all right, that being the case, let me go ahead and bring our guest. Please help me welcome to Ichabod in her first live appearance on YouTube, Misinterpretations.
Hey there.
How
How
are
are
you?
you?
Great
Thanks
to
for
see
having
you.
me. I appreciate
Hey,
you
thanks for
inviting me.
coming on. Thanks for coming on. Just give us if you don't mind, tell us who you are, what you're about, and then we'll get into your channel after that.
Oh, just that. No, I was kidding.
Yeah.
um, yeah. So I started my YouTube channel. I don't know, a while back, but I really started adding videos about January, and I've been trying to be more consistent about that because it took me a little while to kind of figure out how I wanted to do it. And I still haven't totally. I'm very small. So I still have I mean, I have the privilege of being able to just, hey, my unique Monique. Yeah, we've been chatting in the, I've
Yeah.
seen you in the chat. Um, but I am doing all the things that I'm interested in. And I'm just gonna see what flies. But I'm interested. I started watching like flat Earth debunkers a couple of years
Okay.
ago, and I'm like, how is it that people can actually believe, right, that the
Hmm.
Earth is flat? And so then that got me into a lot of other things. I started seeing Forrest Valkai and realizing, oh,
Hmm.
there's some of these atheists, and I've been following Pelagia for a while, but I
Hmm.
I studied I studied science in college, but then I went to grad school in religion because I really enjoyed reading the Bible and learning about it, and but I didn't want to go into ministry. I wanted to do academic um, study, so I did that for a while. Graduate school doesn't pay so good, so I had to eat. So I ended up finishing a couple of degrees and then teaching science because I could do
Hmm.
that anywhere. And my daughter was really little, so that's my main job. But I play violin too. So right now, my kind of retirement job. Oh my gosh, thank you. My retirement job is uh, basically teaching violin and piano,
Okay.
and doing YouTube now. So,
So
but
you're a woman of many talents and many
mm,
interests.
Right, which is kinda hard to kind of focus my YouTube channel because of that, but one thing
Hmm.
that I jumped in doing, and I just had to do was, I've done some, uh, summaries of Greek novels,
Hmm.
Greco-Roman romances, and when I was studying religion as a teaching assistant for The World of the New Testament with Dr. Hawk, and I learned about these romances and all of these different themes that are also in the New Testament. And there's
Hmm.
just so many parallels. And the stories, people don't know them, but I know Shakespeare had to know them because
Hmm.
if you read these stories, you're like, wait a minute, this is like a Shakespeare comedy. And so there's just a lot of really amazing kinds of themes in those. And we have five complete Greek novels. And so I've done three of them. So I have two more that I wanna cover, and then I'll be doing a little bit with that as well, but there's
So
also go ahead.
as you walk through those Greek romances on your channel, it almost got like a myth vision kind of vibe from you because it's like you're talking about these Greek romances, but then you're also showing how like it's almost like can't you see like this is what the Bible is doing, this is where the Bible is getting it from.
Yeah, I
Were
have
you
to
influenced by
say
myth vision at all, or?
yeah, I would definitely inspired by Derek's work, and he actually, helped me, at the in the spring, it kind of I had him on for an interview and such a nice guy. There's a little bit of rough patches this summer, and so
Hmm.
I haven't really talked with him since I was traveling this summer, and I hadn't really done much with that.
Hmm.
But it is people like him and Richard Carrier, even Dr. McDonald,
Hmm.
they
Dennis
cover
McDonald.
the epics, right?
Hmm.
The Odyssey, the Iliad, and we're very familiar with those stories. I mean, I we had to study them in school, or at least some of the myths, some of those Greek myths. So we're more familiar with those stories, but not, and they're a little
Hmm.
bit older, right? And then, but these Greco-Roman stories are in the first century and second century, and
Hmm.
so yeah, so there's a lot to it, like
Okay.
the way people were educated
So
and how they
when
write
I
these.
was a Christian, I would have tried to, like, if I heard anybody talking about the similarities between the New Testament and these Greco-Roman myths, I would have tried to do several things. I would have tried to date them later than the New Testament. I would have tried to show that the coincidence, that the similarities are just coincidental and not even that striking, and you have to stretch it to make it seem like it's. How do you deal with any of those critiques?
Um, when I was the teaching assistant for these classes, I was still a Christian, and I was deconstructing my Christianity, but I did not deconvert until
Mm.
the past year or 2. I mean, it's been
Mm.
kind of a and we can talk about how that happened,
Yes.
but I was when I was in school, I had students who would ask me, they were like, "Well, how do you make this make sense with your Christian faith?" And I was like, "Well, the what we were learning with the Greek stories was like who is the hero and why,
Mm.
and these themes were kind of like pointing you to that hero's journey." And so my answer, my answer was okay. I know I'm laughing about it now. My answer was, well, of course God would uh, basically have Jesus in this type of role and this in a story that we're familiar with, so we would know who the
Ah,
hero is,
gotcha.
right? Jesus is the hero. He's going to act like a hero that we're familiar with, and that would
Mm.
make more sense to us, and we'd be more likely to wow, right? That was the way I did that for a long time. Yeah.
Okay. So you said you did that for a long time. If you were deconstructing back in that was grad school, you said?
Yeah, yeah.
Grad school, but didn't deconvert until about a year ago. I don't know how long ago was grad school. How long were you
Are you
in
really
that?
gonna ask me that? No, I was kidding. Decades ago. Yeah, I have.
So you began deconstructing decades ago and only deconverted
Mhm.
last year?
In my 20s, I was deconstructing because I was in grad school in religion. I mean, I had to, right? We my thesis advisor in at Emory was James Fowler, and he wrote a book called Stages of Faith,
Mm,
where he compared growing in your faith the way that you might develop, like Piaget's stages of development. And there was Lawrence Kohlberg did the stages of moral development, and he had connected those with what Piaget had talked about as far as psychological development. And
mm,
so, when you have the like concrete operational, and there's just like these different ways as you grow older, you're able to handle more nuance and more, right, as you grow from an infant to adulthood. And James Fowler's had 6 stages of faith, um and it was easy for me with that framework
mm,
to just say, people as they grow in their faith, they tend to become a more universalist type,
mm.
right? Because in a
Okay.
way, if you learn, I mean, I had to teach one of my I was a TA for Eastern religions, and I don't know what it was called. Maybe it was called that. I don't know. But anyway, we learned, about Hinduism and hey PC, um, where we learned about Hinduism and Buddhism and Jainism and all different types of non-Western religions, and so like I had to make that make sense somehow. Like,
Mm.
how can I? Why did I get the right one? Right? Maybe it's not the right one. Right? I was just born
Mm.
into the right one. So
So, if you don't mind, you get this more universalist, almost progressive Christianity, but you're. Do you think you were deconstructing the entire time, or do you think you deconstructed decades ago and just lived in that space of this is what it is now?
yeah, I lived in the space of, well, metaphorically that makes sense.
Mm.
And that's not, the Bible's not really true, but we get I grew
Truths
up,
from it.
I think one thing also, I grew up Methodist,
Hmm.
and it's very easy in mainstream Methodism to there's a we're having issues in the Methodist Church. Actually, that was one of the things that kind of tipped me over, which I'll talk
Mm.
about. But
Okay.
it's easier in more progressive churches just to just to you know participate. Part of the reason is that I learned in my anthropology courses how important religion is to the human brain, the human mind, that we are that most cultures have religions of some type, and that these and rituals, when we grow up in a world where we don't have enough rituals, we're more likely to have more psychological problems, have more, where you have definite
Mm.
stages of everybody should have a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah, right? Where
Mm.
everybody recognizes, yeah, you're growing up. When you don't get that, you
Hmm.
know, maybe your adolescence lasts longer. I mean, so, so I was reluctant to let go
Mm.
of the religion, but if I would go to church and say the creed, I kept saying less and less and less of it till it was like, I believe in God.
What's one of
I
those
believe.
songs where you sing it, you sing around, and each round you leave out certain letters, and then before you
Oh,
know it, you're
right.
leaving out all the letters
We
because
did
it's
it with row, row, row your boat. Row, row, row.
okay.
Yeah, leave out the last word every
Is it
time
Bingo, and then you leave
oh,
out the B, and it's
yeah.
Ingo, and then it's
Yeah, 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 exactly.
Ngo,
Yeah, that was
Geo. That was your creed. You just keep leaving out more and more parts of it each time
fun.
you. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So,
So
yeah,
then,
so
what tipped you over then? If a year ago you said, you know what, I'm not a believer. What? And I guess I'm curious.
me
Was
too.
it?
No, I'm still figuring it out.
Is it
Uh,
I'm not a Christian anymore? Is it I don't think religion is the way anymore? Did you become an atheist? Like, what tipped you over, and where did you land?
yeah, so I through all of these years of grad school, and I was been able to keep my faith. I think the past couple of years, it's just been more and more questions, right? And I was always the Christian of, well, God can handle a few questions. I think I may even have said that in one of my first videos. God can
Okay.
handle a few questions. And
Mm,
like God is stronger than that. Like, why are you
mm,
worried about like studying about it? And so the for me, actually started studying cults. I started studying Stephen Hassan and Scientology. Stephen Hassan's the psychologist who talks about the bite model of cults and how they
mm,
keep you in. So I saw Leah Remini's show, and then I don't know how, I kind of ended up watching a lot of ex-Mormon YouTube, TikTok through the
mm,
pandemic and that kind of thing. And just really fascinated. And one of the reasons the Scientology for me was fascinating is that I was in Los Angeles in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I was taking acting classes when I was at USC just for fun, and I said to a friend, "Hey, do you Scientology? They have like acting classes there. Is that what's that?" No, don't go there. It's a cult. They killed somebody. And I'm like, oh my goodness. But I was in my
mm.
20s, it was the first time away from home, that far away. And and I thought, wow, that could have been me, I
I'm
mean,
sorry if I'm distracting you, but if I catch something in the chat that I'm like that's worth throwing on the screen, I'll try to do it. So
absolutely.
sorry.
Yeah. No, no, not at all, and I like seeing that too, so it's really
Mm,
good, but I think, James, that's kind of what happened to me. I started studying these, and what I came around to and what I've still really am hoping to do more content on this. I think that what really sucks people into cults also kept me in Christianity for a really long time,
mm,
and that is
mm,
I wanted to be a good person. I wanted to help the world
mm,
in some way, and yeah, so that was and I was trying to figure it out, try how to do that. I want to be a good person. Also, I don't want to die. Okay, so
mm.
so those things, when you put that together,
Mhm.
most of the time, most people they just want to feel better, right?
Yeah.
And they
Mm,
want to feel okay, and they also actually want to become a better person. Most of us do. I mean, there's
mm,
the outliers, of course, but also we also, we don't want to die. So I
mhm,
think that was kind of what was keeping me in. So kind of what was pulling me further away is like watching Dan McClellan and Apologia and deconstructing,
mm,
even more and thinking, yeah, yeah, I can see what they're saying. Yeah. Oh, okay.
mm,
So then I started, then it started to like, I guess it just little, it's like I had a whole bunch of veils in front of me, right?
mm,
And they just kind of kept getting lifted a little bit one by one. When I don't
mm,
know exactly what it was,
mhm.
except I do think a big part was the illusion of God's presence and the phantom
Oh,
God,
yes, great
John
book.
Wathy. Yeah,
Yeah.
and just being able
Mm,
to understand that, "Oh, that makes sense to me." I like the anthropology part of it, right?
mm,
Oh, of course we want something to come and take care of us. It makes so
mm.
much sense and why that need and that feeling is so strong. One of the first videos I did, and then I'll be quiet. I'll do like Dr. Josh, and then I'll shut up. One of the first videos I did was,
I love Dr. Josh for that.
I know, I love him so much because he's going on and he's like, "Oh, wait a minute, I'm keep talking." But, is synesthesia, like faith and synesthesia and the idea, some people when they see numbers, they always see them in color. Some
Mm.
people, when they smell something, they hear something, right? So it's like there's the
I'm not
little
familiar with
brain.
that phenomenon.
Okay, it's called synesthesia. It means basically feeling together.
Mhm,
And so like if you look at the keyboard on their computer and the numbers are colors. 3 is always orange or 6 is always purple or something like that.
wow.
It's amazing. And the idea is that when you're an infant, you live a psychedelic life, right? You've got all of
Mm,
these fires going, and neurons that are firing together,
hmm.
and the neurons that process color, that process the color, not receive the color, but the neurons
Hmm.
that process the color are close to the neurons that process numbers. And so
Mm.
sometimes that's there, sometimes those little connections don't get snipped. And
Wow.
yeah, and so there's different types of it. And I got really fascinated with that because of that personal experience. Like, oh, well, I can't prove to you that God exists, but I feel that sense that God is with me, and
Hmm.
I feel that personal experience. But when I read John Wathy, I was like, oh, this just an evolutionary type of feeling where we know that we're going to get taken care of, and that there's an agent outside of us that can do
Hmm.
that. But that's the mother infant bond, or the
Mm.
parent bond. So does that make sense?
So you got the impression that what had been going on with you and God all these years was more of a brain state than anything that was happening in reality.
It took me a minute, but it
Okay.
made sense to me that that made sense to me. That explanation makes sense to me. Um,
One of the things that matters to me when it comes to that, so the illusion of God's presence, I love the book. I haven't finished it, but I'm just the idea. I heard him talking about it on a podcast one time. I think
mhm,
I heard Atheologica talking about it. I hope he comes back. I hope he brings his channel back. But I heard Atheologica talking about it, and I went and got the book, and I loved it as far as I got into it. But the
yeah,
idea of that could explain the relationship that we're having with the concept of God.
mhm,
The idea that I just went and spent some time with a family member of mine today, and I love her, love her, love her dearly. And I hope she doesn't watch this. Um, the conversation quickly turned to end times and religion and what she believed God was doing in the earth. And as I sat and watched, I just thought to myself, like, wow, this person really, really, really believes this. And
yeah,
there's probably nothing that I can do to convince them or dissuade them that this is not true.
right,
And then I had to think about, well, why does it feel so real to her? And why did it feel so real to me back when I was in it? But like I said, when I was reading The Illusion of God's Presence, he framed so well the idea of, like you said, this you grow up with parents that care for you. It drives deep into your being the idea that, yeah, you should have, so there should be someone to look up to. There should be some kind of figure over you who's protecting and providing. And even when you get away from mom and dad, you still, it's like when I posted about this on Facebook the other day. When my parents split, I immediately began hanging out with guys who were older than me,
mm,
and I didn't know I was looking for a father figure, but I had gotten used to having one, and I sought a new one. And I think the same thing happens with God, where we project into the sky some of the things that we had experienced when we were young,
yeah,
and we continue to seek that. But I'm saying all that to say it would explain so much that I would almost be upset or angry at a God who would allow his real presence to seem just as fictional as, oh, I just projected my parent onto the sky. Like, why make your,
yeah,
if you're a God in your real, why make your reality seem that, like, I could explain it just as easy as that.
right,
Why not be more real than the projections of my mind?
right, right. And for me, with that is the absence of God, right? I can't ever remember the phrase. What is that?
Hiddenness of God.
Hiddenness. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Words. Yeah. The the f- I would pray, and having those questions. I mean, you experience this, I'm sure. When you pray, you're like, am I just talking to myself? Like, am I really Right, and I would pray, and then
Mhm.
I would just start praying, thinking about all kinds of other things, like, "Oh god, I'm so sorry, I'm
Mm.
not focusing," and yeah. Because
So when you get into science on your channel, well, before I even go there, what was it like when you finally owned your unbelief?
I think the main way I explain it is I got exhausted. I just got tired of trying to explain away
Mm,
all the contradictions in the Bible.
mm,
Like, I mean, I went to I have 2 degrees in religion, yeah, and because I wanted to learn about this, I wanted to know about it. I thought, and that even that necessarily didn't take me out. It's
mhm,
just when I got back into reading the Bible, in the past couple of years and really studying it and understanding, "Oh, wait a minute, I really," 'cause I did ethics, right? I didn't really do biblical studies. So the New Testament class that I helped TA, that was mostly what I did. So I didn't really, dive in like a lot of people do when they go to grad school in religion. So because 'cause they're studying the Bible, and I didn't really.
mm,
And so, yeah, so when I actually started really studying the Bible, I couldn't keep saying, "Well, it really means this. Well, it really means this." I even
mm,
taught a class in my church on a little tiny book by Jim Durant about um, what the Bible says about homosexuality and
mm,
what it doesn't say, right? And so it was to help people understand that that you shouldn't be using the Bible
hmm,
to alienate people or say that homosexuality is wrong, or and so I went over what I taught in biology and what I learned about in anthropology, and I'm
hmm,
like, here are the biological understandings of what sex and gender are about,
mm.
and here are, just because somebody is different, this is just the way that they're made.
Was the church okay with you teaching that?
They That's a whole long story, but the short version the
Somebody
short
told
version
them.
is the church asked me to there's a group in my church that asked me to do that, and
Mhm,
they really appreciated that, and and to help bring different perspectives. But then there was also a very conservative part of my church at the time, and the Methodist Church over the past decade has been going through splits for more of the biblical
mhm,
inerratists and that homosexuality is wrong and we shouldn't have homosexual ministers and all of that. So, but then there again, there's the more progressive. But the Methodist Church, if you look at the history of it, it's like, okay, we're going to get together and then we're going to shoot off and we're going to shoot off and we're going to get together. I mean, it's just like
every
it's
church.
oh my gosh, it
Every
is like
church
this
is like
branching
that.
craziness. I tried to like learn about Methodist history once. I'm like, no, not gonna do it. It's too
Mm.
complicated. But one of the key things with that was somebody brought up slavery and
Mm,
using the Bible to support slavery, y and he was comparing it to using the Bible to support anti-LGBTQIA rights. And as I looked more into that and what the Bible actually does say about slavery, I'm like, "Well, of course. Of course they were using the Bible to support slavery because how could you not? That's what it does." And then it
mm.
just yeah. So, I
Mm.
think that was so you can see it I have really been trying to process it for
Yeah.
myself over the past
Wow.
number
Yeah.
of months, like, what is it? But I'm just one of those people. I I think if I were a fundamentalist I had a fundamentalist few minutes in college, right?
Mm.
But I think it's in some ways, for some people, a little easier to make the break
Mhm.
between their fundamentalist beliefs and not being a non-believer because you're so ingrained that this is the truth. This is,
Mhm.
the inerrant word of God. And if anything's wrong, then the whole thing's wrong. And they're like, oh, this is wrong. The whole thing must be wrong in some ways. Now, it's maybe harder to leave their culture.
Mhm.
It seems a little easier. I could be wrong, but it seems that it is a little bit easier for some people to make the theological break, but the culture break. But for me, it might be easier for me to leave, my culture because I'm involved in lots of different things. But
Yeah.
that's hard too. It's,
Mm.
grew up, still go to the church I grew up in, and I don't
Did you
really
raise your
go much.
children in the faith?
Yeah, kind of. That's a whole
Okay.
kind of.
Yeah, it's a life.
Kind of. I
It's a
mean,
life.
I never really pushed it very much,
Hmm.
and and I have a daughter, and so and we talk more about it now. And
Hmm.
she's not not a Christian, so yeah.
Okay.
But she had, like, this is weird, long before I long before I did. So, we could talk
Hmm.
about that. But
So you got tired of trying to hold it together with all the contradictions. When you finally let it go, when you finally said, I'm done with this, was it a relief? Were you worried? Was it like what was that like?
it was a relief in that, like, because I didn't have all the hellfire. I quit believing in hell like 20 years ago. I just thought that was
Okay.
stupid. I just thought that was dumb. I was like, that's not the God I believe in. My God is all love, and so it wasn't that was not as hard for me.
Mm,
But, a lot of people that I really care about and love deeply are
mhm,
very, they're Christian, right? And it's a lot of their identity. And so I think that has been the hardest part for me.
mm,
Yeah, to reassure some of those folks, you know, I'm still the same person, and I didn't
yeah.
mean for this to happen. I was studying
Mm.
the Bible. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to, become a better
So
person.
the fact that you even had to have those feelings of, hey, I'm the same person, that means you must have made some sort of announcement or you were vocal about the fact that you were no longer believing. Like,
Yeah, with some of the closest to me. Yeah, of course.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Any, you don't have to say any more than you want to, but did anybody sort of like disown you or
oh no, nobody's disowned me, so that's good.
okay.
Maybe it's
Hmm.
more because of the progressive world that I'm in, which I'm grateful for that. But it does, it does change some of the um not the feelings, but the tone of some of the conversations, and what we talk about and what we don't talk about, and
Hmm.
so but I just feel like I just it's new to
Hmm.
me and others around me, so yeah, I'm like,
Yeah, I mean, within
it's
the last
okay.
year, this is new to you. I mean,
It is. Yeah,
it's almost like this is a weird thing to say. It's almost like being born again.
it is. It is.
Like I'm
So I
going
thought
back
I'd just
now.
go on the YouTubes and talk about it.
Yeah,
Like, most people wait a little while before they go, "Hey,
I'm going back and rewatching like some of my favorite movies and movies that I've watched and series that I've watched, and just rewatching movies with a deconverted mind. It's a whole new movie. So it's like Hollywood doesn't even need to make any new movies for me. I can just rewatch all the things that I watched in the last 20 years as a
yeah,
non-Christian now, and it's like a brand new movie. You know what I mean?
wow."
You see things with new eyes, relationships. I'm talking to family members, and there are all kinds of things that are just like, oh, I see you now. But it's not like I see you now. I'm seeing you without the lenses that those biblical lenses that I was wearing. And so
Mm.
it almost is like being born again.
Yeah. Yeah, it is it is it it's it see, sometimes I can't find the words to talk
It's all
about
good.
it, but I think it's one of the reasons that finding other people to talk who've been through this experience, it's so
Mm,
important because, we do have similar experience, but everybody has their own, right? And I'm still not quite able to articulate exactly how my experience happened. It's
mm,
just, I was like, yeah, this just doesn't make sense anymore. But yeah. So, but when you were talking about the movies, I was thinking about this today, where it's almost like the beginning of Wicked for me,
mm.
where Glenda, she's the good witch, and she wants to be good and seen as good, and she floats down in the bubble, and it pricks, and everybody around her is like singing about, you know,
Hmm. How
the
great it is
wicked,
that,
they'd
yeah.
also, and you can see she knows something more than just being the, "Oh, aren't we really glad the witch is dead?" Right? So that tension is there, and
Hmm.
that's how that's how I felt, and that's somehow at times
Hmm.
how I still feel. I'm looking around going, everyone sees things very differently than I do,
Hmm.
but I'm gonna have to kinda go along,
Yeah.
with this for
Wow.
right now until, maybe can tell more of the story.
Well,
So,
let me just check to make sure I got the right mic because I forgot that I put these AirPods. Okay, I got the right mic. You guys let me know if the mic starts sounding funky. So
you
let's talk
sound
about
good.
your thank you. Let's talk about your channel, Misinterpretations. It's in the chat. I want you guys to go check out the channel and subscribe to Misinterpretations channel. But tell us, maybe give us one or two of your the. So you guys know I do lives because the editing is just so time consuming. But you've got a lot of great edited videos on your
Thank
channel that
you.
you've done. Talk to us about one or two that you're most proud of. Like, what were you trying to get across? And yeah, just talk to us about one or two of your most special to you videos you've done on the
Okay.
channel.
Okay, well, I have the series of the Greco-Roman romances, and, the just summarizing the story and then talking about how the themes in these Greek romances are very similar to what you see in the New Testament. So they're filled with empty tombs and apparent
Mm,
death and
mm,
crucifixion, and the heroes go through, being the best and the most beautiful and the most wonderful to a hero's journey, right? They go down. Even some of them become slaves, and then they're exalted again. And so
mm,
I show how many of these themes are in the New Testament using the similar language, and those are really fun. And the Mostly Dead hasn't gotten as many views, but it's the best one. It's like the funniest. It's the funniest one. I mean, they're romances, so there's humor in it, but oh man, but that one was longer.
What's the
So
name of that one?
that one, there's two. It's a part one and a part two. Mostly Dead.
Mostly Dead. Okay, let's
Hmm.
all go check out the Mostly Dead videos on
Those are
Misinterpretations
fun.
channel and get those numbers up on that one.
Oh, thank you. That's those are from it's the story is Leucippe and Cleitophon. That's the name of the two characters. Leucippe is the woman and Cleitophon, and they're young. They see each other, love at first sight, fall in love, and
Hmm.
go off on all these adventures and then come back home. But so yeah, it's easy to see, with those videos, the themes that are there in the New Testament.
Okay.
It's really kind of wild. And then I have a friend, Tobias, who is a physics professor, quantum computing in Germany, and every now and then we just get together and chat about physics and education, and some about belief and that kind of thing. So we're doing a few. I have a series with him. I'm going to put another video up of him in the coming weeks. And then I got to interview Kip Davis. I'm so
Okay.
excited, and I hope he'll come back on again. But we talked about the chapter Genesis 2 and 3, that
Hmm.
creation story. And I had always, when I first read a long time ago in college, um, God and the Rhetoric of Sexuality by Phyllis Tribble.
Mm,
I didn't know anything about Hebrew, but her take on this made a whole lot of sense to me, and I really wanted to talk
mm.
with him about it and get his take. And that was, oops, I keep hitting my mic. That was a great conversation. I highly recommend it. And his book's coming out soon, so he read some of his book
Oh,
in that
cool.
interview too. So I've got lots of different kinds of things. So one of those you might find interesting. You might find interesting. I'll probably keep videos of all these different themes, and
I was going
people
to say,
can
you
see what
got
they're like.
science, you got religion, you got art, culture,
Yeah.
and you said because you're into so many things, your channel sort of like is a smattering of all those. If you
Yeah.
had to focus it on one, what would you focus it on?
I think I think it would be what I'm going to do a little bit more of next, and that is kind of what you named this video, is the brain and belief. Like why do why do we latch on to the beliefs that we do and stay with
Mm,
them the way that we do? And one of the things that really, it's on my heart, right? is is people who go like me in my 50s go, oh, wait a minute,
mm,
I don't believe this anymore. And that be okay. That it be
mm,
okay that for decades, I was a faithful Christian, right? And there are a lot of Christians who didn't really think I was, but that's okay too, because when you're progressive, that happens. But but that's that it's okay, that it makes, of course I was a Christian, and of course I believed it for a long time,
mm,
and it's not a waste of my life, you know.
mm.
I mean,
I'm gonna need to
because
watch that video. Matter of fact, give me
I'm
some of
gonna,
that counsel now.
oh my gosh, but I mean, because that's what I'm seeing from a lot of folks too, that it's like,
Mm,
oh, I have so much wasted time. It's just not. Your life's not
mm,
wasted. You're here now. What are you gonna do now? But
yeah.
like I said, we want to feel better.
Hmm.
We want to maybe be better people, maybe help other people, and we don't
Hmm.
want to die.
Hmm.
And those major needs, I think, are really honed in on by
Yeah.
religion, you know.
So I wonder, maybe you can address this in your video, and if you have any words of wisdom for me, I'll take them now. I wonder if just like the comment that my unique Monique made. Let me see if I can go back up and find it. I probably won't be able to find it.
That was good.
She made the comment earlier on. I put it on the screen where she said most of the people that she knows who've deconstructed or deconverted are not ex-fundee. Oh, no, she said they're ex-fundees, not progressives. The progressives, the liberals, they almost don't have to deconvert because they're sort of already there a little bit. They never took it as serious, so maybe it's almost as if, I don't know if I could say this, it's almost as if they haven't converted as much as the person who went fundamentalist with it. Like they still kept some of their sanity, some of their, well, I don't see it like that. I take the liberty to not have to see it that way. But I said
Right.
that to say, I wonder if the person who was as fundamentalist as I am, or the person who's more fundamentalist, would feel more like they've wasted their life than the person who was more
Mm,
progressive the entire time. Because being the fundamentalist person that I was, I did so much in the name of,
right.
even like, so I taught a class at Community College of Philadelphia, and in the high schools of Philadelphia, I designed an entire course. To It wasn't a religious course; it was merging hip hop culture and ethics into a course. I did it to smuggle my faith into the school.
Yeah.
But if you weren't a person of faith, you could just use it to smuggle ethics into classroom conversations.
Right.
But I spent a lot of time designing this and doing this because of my faith.
Right.
And I think it's still a worthwhile effort that somebody needs to do. But I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that anymore. And especially because I don't have that impetus, it definitely isn't going to be to sneak faith into the schools. But
Right.
so much of what my life was about was getting my faith into other people's hearts. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I wasted a lot of my life because of that.
Yeah. Yeah. The time spent, right, and the effort
Mm,
made in those endeavors, definitely. I know, I'm with you. I hear you.
mm,
That really feels like a waste. I mean, you said it that way, but I don't think it is. I know, also people who spend their time converting other people, right? They're like, oh my gosh,
mm,
what did I do? Um, but honestly, I mean, I just I keep going back to, you were doing what was most important to you, and that is a really great thing, right?
mm. Yeah,
And
yeah.
and why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
So, and it did help a lot of people. So it's not a
Yes.
waste,
True.
you know.
True.
And
Yeah.
then if they became, I don't know, if they became a Christian and then they didn't, okay, I mean, I just, it might have been something needed for somebody at that time. I actually wanted to do a little bit. I mean, I was really impressed that you did that when I learned that about you, because I was a high school teacher and I was studying ethics, and I wanted to put an ethics kind of program that wasn't focus on the family, which was what was really big at the time. And I'm like, oh, I can't stand that thing. We need to have
Mm,
like an ethics program that's
mm,
not faith based, but is
mm.
still, but it was, because of my studying religion and being more universal. So yeah, I do think like that. And I think some of that too is like what I mean about the culture have more of the fundamentalist perspective,
Mhm.
that if you do, you so many more hours, right? Wednesday nights and Sunday nights, and and I did that as a kid, um, even in my church, but and the church I've been affiliated with is very missions minded, and it's the faith that they have that's really supporting, wanting to reach out and help other
Mhm.
people. And that's a really wonderful thing, and I very much admire that, and I participate in it when I can. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not easy. It's not.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to how you're going to be capturing these ideas, and because you said you're also a life coach, right?
Yeah, yeah, I
And-
actually found a life coach, and it was so helpful to me. I'm like, "Why does this work so well? I wanna know why does this help me feel so much better?" And so
Mm,
I learned, I
yeah.
have, like, 2 certifications as a life coach, and, I mostly spend my time teaching little kids, but it really helps me in my teaching with my kids.
Well, yeah.
So
I
yeah,
think whatever you're going to do with your channel, when I was asking you if you had to pick one of those different, you know, facets, which would it be?
right,
That's not to say that I think you should. I think bringing all of that to bear, even bringing your life coaching to bear on the
right,
channel, because once you surface some of these issues, invariably what's going to happen is people are going to hit the okay, now what? When I hit the equal sign, let's say I believe what you're saying about how
yeah,
the New Testament is fitting this pattern and how to now what? And that's where your life coaching comes in. You know what I mean? Like there's
exactly.
something to where am I pointing you? And on
Yeah,
my channel, I try not to do that as much, but I understand that it's necessary
yeah,
to be able to point people somewhere. Not like you have to go here, but this is a possibility. Like if you're thinking this way,
right.
these are some things that you can do now, and I don't do that.
Right.
I think enough on my channel.
Right, right. Different types of resources. And
Hmm.
actually, one of the first things I did when I really realized, oh my goodness, I really don't believe, and I probably should tell, some of the people that I'm closest to. I called recovery from religion. I mean, I think
Mm.
that's an amazing, and I keep up with, things that they've done. And I just to say, hey, what, this is what's happening. Just to be able to say that to somebody who understood, I think that makes
Yeah.
a difference. So there's a lot of great groups like, what Secular Rarity's doing and trying to get people to know
Hmm.
what's going on, and Durante Lamar with his
Yeah.
Bridge project and everything. I think that's,
Yeah.
and people adding what they can. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to do that too, because I still want to become a better person, and I still want to help people,
Nice.
so just want to do that, I guess, in a different way than I thought I would ever do.
Well, you let us know here. However, we can support you. We definitely will.
Thank you.
Anything, I always give people a chance. If you have any questions for me, you can ask any question you have for me, or anything that you want us to be thinking about as we go. Guys, make sure you go support the channel,
Well, thank you.
Misinterpretations. I'll put it under the video as a link so you guys can get it that way as well. But I'll let you get the last word or question or however you want to roll it out.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, I thank you so much for inviting me on. I really appreciate it, and I've really enjoyed the work that you're doing. And I think that th- one of the main unique things that you contribute is the way that you question people, like your Monday night series, right? Of
Mm,
talking with believers and really trying to understand where they're coming from. And I really really enjoy how you talk to folks like that. So I hope you'll keep doing more of that, um and I hope to be able to, like, just in my personal life, be able to really listen to people the way that you do. So I just
Good stuff. Yeah,
keep doing
indeed.
some of that. That's really, really
Yeah.
helpful as
So you
well.
got people
So
like Deconstruction Zone, like you said, Durante Lamar. You've got, all these different channels. All these different channels are just little small communities. And what
mhm.
I'm hoping is that even the community, the small community that we have here, that these communities like would like just well up and overflow into the real world. Um,
Yeah,
that's what the world needs. just like when we were Christians, right? We thought the world
right,
needed what we have. I
right.
still have this sense of the world needs what we have here. And so, yeah, let's continue to be there for each other, support each other.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think we'll find
yeah.
lots of different ways to do that. I mean, I was able to go to NanoCon this year, and that was
Oh,
like,
cool.
just because I wanted to be able to, like, meet my
Hmm.
people, right, in person, and be able to see that, because, there's not a ton of us. I have a few friends here in South Carolina, but yeah, it's
Mm.
it's yeah, that community part is definitely needed,
Yeah.
and how that grows. So
We'll be virtual
really,
as long as we have to, but if we can, like I said, make a spillover into the real world, all the better. And
yeah,
our culture needs it more than ever right now. So,
absolutely. So
misinterpretations, thank you so much.
thank
And we will
you.
continue to chop it up offline and in the chats. And you'll
Okay.
see us popping up on your channel in the comments, and we'll keep it going.
Well, thank you, and thank you everybody for being here. Appreciate you all.
All right, y'all. Have a great night. I'll catch y'all. Be back next Monday with another Conversations with Christians. The Christian that I had last Monday, Brother Stephen Hernandez, and I'm saying brother because I'm slipping into my Christian character when I say that. Brother Hernandez, I'm going to try to get him back on either later this month or in September. But we got some good ones lined up. I promise you. Some of y'all are like, man, we want a fundamentalist. We wanted this. We wanted that. We got some good conversations coming up. So just stay tuned. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Okay.
Love.
Bye.